Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday meditation service. My name's Victor, and I'm honored to be of service this morning. We hope that our service finds you all happy and healthy, but please know that if you are struggling in any way, we hope that our service here and our Sangha can be a source of refuge for you as we open our hearts to you and to your loved ones. We're very excited to be able to celebrate our services in person, and we want to do so as safely as possible. So I guess the mask mandate has been lifted, so masks are simply recommended and respect and tolerance are encouraged. We appreciate your part in helping to keep our whole Sangha safe and healthy. Let's begin this morning with a few conscious breaths. A conscious breath is where you seal the mouth, breathe deeply through the nose, hold that breath for a few moments, and then release slowly so that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Of course, if you have a head cold or something like that, you may not be able to seal your mouth. So please act accordingly. Let's begin. Holding that breath for just a moment. Feeling the fullness of the lungs, and then releasing slowly. And as you release, take a moment to check in with the body. What's present in the form right now? Could be a sense of ease, or perhaps a restlessness, a point of tension, or even possibly pain. We work with what is present and embrace the truth of this moment instead of our thoughts about the way we wish things were. And a second conscious breath together. Holding for a moment, making sure the shoulders are relaxed, the body is gentle and easy, and releasing slowly. And as you release, taking a moment to release that connection to the energy of going and doing, perhaps getting ready this morning or driving, taking care of furry loved ones, all those external worldly things that require our energy. And there's nothing good, bad, right, or wrong about that. It's that now we want to take some time to cultivate the energy of being, that energy that requires nothing of us, that energy that is boundless, endless. It is simply the aliveness of this moment. And a third conscious breath together. Holding for a moment and releasing slowly. And as you release, bring into your awareness the present moment, fully arriving in the here and the now. And so here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin our services with a little bit of chanting. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition. Chanting is not about being a singer. Chanting is about having a voice. It is about a deeply devotional expression of that which is sacred within you and sharing that with the universe. This morning, our chant is Om Shanti Sat Chitananda. Om Shanti Sat Chitananda, Many of you will recognize the seed sound, Om, the sound of the universe, reminding each one of us that we are a beautiful note in a grand cosmic symphony forever playing. Shanti is the Sanskrit word for peace, and Sat Chitananda in Sanskrit is a three-part word that stands for truth, Sat, and Chit is bliss, and Ananda is consciousness. And so I will invite Rochelle to tone us in. Together. Om Shanti Satchitananda. 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 Once more. Om Shanti Satchitananda. And so here at Temple Buddhist Center, we practice Western Buddhism. Western Buddhism is a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. And this new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic. It's growing, changing, and transforming with us. It is active. It is dynamic. And it focuses on core Buddhist insights as well as meditation, mindfulness, and their practical applications in our daily lives. Our goal here is not to get everyone to agree on a specific lineage or philosophy or sect of Buddhism, but rather it's on a shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. Whether we are chanting together, spending time in noble silence, or sharing from our hearts, we respect that you will participate at a level that is comfortable for you. We take refuge in the three jewels and acknowledge these core values as expressions of the awakened mind, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We value awareness of our Buddha nature as well as the Buddha nature of all beings, bringing a fresh new perspective to each and every precious moment. And the second jewel, the Dharma, the truth teachings that release us from fear, delusion, and help us to realize the true nature of who we are. And finally, our Sangha, our spiritual community, an essential part of growth where we come together to practice the teachings and to help each other along every step of the path. We also want to take a moment to welcome all of our friends and Sangha members joining us from all parts of the country and even some folks internationally. So again, welcome as we open our hearts to our Sangha both near and far. Let's take a moment now to silence any cell phones or electronic devices as we prepare for a time in meditation and contemplation. We're going to begin with the prayer of refuge, and we will recite the prayer of refuge 3 times for the 3 jewels. Together? In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. And so now, as we prepare for a time in meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then we invite you to practice in a way that is fitting for you. If you are new to if you are new to meditation, then we will begin with a dedication of intention. We will awaken the bell 3 times for the 3 jewels. And then our mentor and patron and guide and chief cook and bottle washer, Mr. Robert Brumet, is going to guide us in a brief guided meditation that's designed to assist you in moving into the stillness. And so at this time, let's begin with a conscious breath together. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness, I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
As we listen to the ringing of the bell, fading into the silence, we bring our awareness to that silence, the source of who we are, the center of what we are. And from that silence arises the awareness of the body, awareness of the breath, awareness of hearing, awareness of thinking, and any other activity in the mind and the body. Arising from that source of silence. So we rest in the awareness, beginning with awareness of the breath. And let the awareness not be something that you do, but something that holds you. Just imagine that you are resting, being held by the awareness, by the silence. Breathing in, breathing out. Simply being aware of each breath as it occurs. And letting the attention span into the sensations in the body. Just noticing whatever you feel in the body as you sit. Simply allowing whatever is present. It may be pleasant or unpleasant, maybe neither one. Whatever it is, we simply pay attention to it, stay present to it in each moment. And so we focus on the breath and on the body, focusing simply on whatever you're aware of, whatever is the strongest in your awareness. Whenever the attention gets lost in some form of thinking, storytelling, which the mind is very good at, we simply notice that. Come back to the breath, come back to the body, come back to the present moment. Returning time and again to the here and the now. Continuing to be aware of the body. I invite you to also become aware of hearing. Noticing how awareness of hearing tends to expand the consciousness. Allowing that awareness to expand to include thinking, feeling, any activity in the mind. Anything within the body and anything outside of the skin. And finally, we enter into the final frontier, so to speak, as we open our eyes and include seeing in our practice. Continuing the practice with the eyes open. Being aware of the body, being aware of hearing, being aware of seeing. Present fully in this moment. Well, good morning to each of you. And a special welcome to those of you that have been here since 8 o'clock this morning. Whatever time you arrived, you're welcome. The topic of my talk today is the upside-down world of the Dharma practice. Kind of an interesting title because some 30 plus years ago when I first began this practice, there were two things that I became aware of. One was how difficult the practice is, in case you haven't discovered that, and how powerful it is, which I hope you've discovered along the way. So I want to address both of those because they're both related. The difficulty of the practice is not so much difficulty in the sense that we have to work hard or struggle to accomplish anything. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The difficulty of the practice is getting out of that mindset that says we have to struggle and strive to accomplish anything. The world of the Dharma is basically the world of the ego, the world that we live in primarily, turned inside out and upside down. And that's the difficult part of it, is to be aware of how and when we fall back into the, I call it the ego operating system, the EOS, if you will. And to catch that and make the shift out of that into DOS, if you will, which stands for, of course, the Dharma operating system. My apologies to Microsoft or whoever else might be suing us. So let's take a look at why the practice is so difficult and so powerful at the same time. I want to talk about some of the things that we as human beings, and actually not even as human beings, as most animals as well, if not plants included. The deepest of all of our conditioning is that we are positively motivated by what's pleasant, negatively motivated by what's unpleasant, what feels bad. This is something we assume to be true. I mean, that's how we train animals. You know, you hit the dog with a newspaper or give them a dog biscuit or whatever the carrot and the stick is, you know, the positive, the negative reinforcement. Children are positively, negatively reinforced, hopefully not by hitting them with a newspaper, but by giving them some kind of positive affirmation when they do well. There's a whole branch of psychology. Behavioral psychology is based upon this premise. Conditioning, operant conditioning. Been tons of research done on this topic. But the basic assumption is that this is the way it is. Another aspect of the ego operating system is that if we don't feel good, then we have to do something to feel good. So if we don't feel like we want to, if we're not happy, we got to do something to fix that. So I'm happy. Typically, we don't say, I'm happy, what can I do to get over it, right? But if I'm unhappy, then immediately I say, what can I do to get over it? So it's assumed that we want to move on to something else. So that kicks in the second aspect, which is that the ego operating system says that happiness lies in the future. If you're not happy now, you can find happiness in the future if you do the right thing. And that's the third aspect, which is developing a strategy. Okay? So I'm not happy now, it doesn't feel good. When I say happy, I mean physical as well as mental and emotional. But if something's unpleasant, then I need to do something to feel good, and that's going to take some time, right? And then I have to engage a strategy to make that happen. If my belly feels empty, I recognize hunger. So hunger is unpleasant. I imagine some future moment when the hunger's not there. And then I say, what do I need to do to get from here to there? Right? We engage the strategy of fixing a meal or going to a restaurant or whatever, however we do that. We do this over and over and over again from the earliest age on, developing various strategies for getting what we want when we don't feel good, when we're not happy. You know, if we're happy, it's like, let's do it again. But if I'm not happy, it's like, let's do something else, right? So we're conditioned to believe that happiness can be, if we're not happy, that happiness and feeling good is in the next moment. You see, and that's one of the fundamental premises of the ego operating system, is that satisfaction is not in this moment, but it's in the next moment. What do I have to do? How long will it take? Sometimes I'll hear beginners in this practice ask the question, how long does it take before I can get some benefit? You see. And I don't say this, but I feel like saying, well, with that attitude, it'll take forever. Because it's by reversing that we actually get what we want. That's the That's the great somersault that we really get what we want by turning upside down the way we usually get it. So most people begin meditation practice with the same strategy, with the ego operating system, and it doesn't work. Because as long as I'm waiting for something to happen, I'm not in the present moment. And the present moment is the only time anything can happen, right? Can't happen in the future. It can only happen now. So this quality of, I'll call it nexting. You know, the ego operating system operates on nexting. What's next? What's next? What's next? In fact, I remember long ago seeing a cartoon in one of the Dharma magazines, Tricycle, I think it was. There's two Westerners, two non-monks meditating in a Zen retreat, and the one turns to the other and whispers, "Nothing happens next." Okay? Because the question, of course, is, well, what's next? That's the way we're focusing on operating. Yet to find what we really want the most, we can only find it in the present moment. I mean, if you just think about it, if we use the illusion of the past to think about it, when you're happy, when you're fulfilled, when you're satisfied, you were living in the present moment. In fact, some people will do anything to get into the present moment. You know, climb mountains or jump out of airplanes or whatever it takes to force themselves into the present moment because of the bliss, because of the hit. But the hit doesn't come from jumping out of airplanes. The hit comes from being fully present in the moment, being fully alive. Anytime, no matter what we're doing, anytime we're fully, totally present in this moment, we can touch into that. So we start the Dharma operating system with the premise not that we have to do something, but we start with the premise that this moment is enough. And that's the difficulty. The difficulty is that it's so easy. The difficulty is that we're so conditioned to believe that it's in the next moment if I do the right thing. You know, if you follow your breath for 10 minutes, then you'll be happy forever after. Okay, I can hardly wait. Just saying. But boy, at 9.5 minutes, what happens? The attention gets lost. You see, it's like trying to catch the carrot by running faster. When the donkey runs faster, the carrot moves faster. Because the future is always the future, and what we desire the most can be found only in the present moment. We learn to live with hope. Hope can be helpful at times. You know, in order to survive, sometimes hope can help us. You know, if prisoners of war survived because of the hope they had for the future. Concentration camp inmates, those few that did survive, did so because of hope for the future. You see, when there's hope, we'll hang on. But there's no happiness in hope. There's only the hope for happiness. What we're looking for can only come in the present moment. All experience can only come in the present moment. We can only make choices in the present moment. So our life can be lived only in the present moment. That's the paradox. Our life can be lived only in the present moment, and yet how much time do we spend there? How much time do we spend nexting into the next moment, strategizing, trying to get somewhere else? So in this practice, in the Dharma practice, here's a crucial question. The crucial question is not, how am I feeling, good, bad, or indifferent, but what's my relationship to my experience in this moment? Am I present to my present moment experience? Or am I trying to get out of it? Am I trying to hold on to it? Am I trying to recreate it? Am I trying to create a strategy to get somewhere else? So in the Dharma practice, the Dharma operating system, we seek to simply be present to each experience as it is in this very moment. So simple, and that's the difficulty of it. What we most want can only be experienced in the present moment. What we most want is a deeper experience of who we really are. But we're conditioned to believe that what we really want is out there and in the future. Now, there's nothing wrong with setting goals and working toward them. You know, if we want to get an education, we need to go to school. And if we want to learn a trade or learn a skill or whatever it is, we prepare for it. But if we do it with the idea that once I'm done, I'll live happily ever after, we're going to be enormously dissatisfied and disillusioned. No matter what we're doing, whether we're planning or memorizing or remembering, if we're present in the moment, that's really what's important. And therein lies the power of this practice. The power of this practice is that it can dissolve the deepest conditioning of all human beings. Most of psychotherapy and other kinds of mind training, and I want to point out, can be very helpful. I've benefited a lot from many of them. But what they tend to do is to replace our negative conditioning with positive conditioning. What this practice does is it makes us unconditionable, if there is such a word. See, that's the deepest freedom imaginable. It provides us with a freedom deeper than we even realize is possible. Because typically, when we think of freedom, it's the ability to do whatever we want to do or to be free from any constraints. But freedom really has got nothing to do with what we do or what's around us. Freedom is, can I be free from the deepest influence of my human conditioning? And if I'm free from that, I'm free from everything. So the practice, in its difficulty, I think it's helpful to recognize that it's difficult. The problem is it's not very good PR when you try to promote, because today nobody wants to do anything that's difficult. If you can't do it in 3 easy steps, or if there's not an app to do it, we're not interested, you see. And that's part of the reason we're in the problem we're in our culture. And difficult doesn't mean that we have to suffer and that we have to be very stern and what's the word we want to, look like you're not happy to get somewhere. But it's more a matter of not falling into the same mindset. And the way we do that is simply practice being present in the moment. What's here in this moment? And any time we are fully aware of our present moment experience, we are aware in the moment. And that moment is exactly what we want, regardless of what that experience contains, in spite of the conditioning, you see. And that's where we find that even if we don't feel well physically, emotionally, psychologically, even if we've got problems in our life, we're totally free because it's all nothing but scenery. And that's really sweet. That's a great place to live. And the thing is, we can't create a strategy to get there. In fact, the strategy takes us away from it. The next thing in the strategy takes us away from what we most want. So I think I'll stop here because we're conditioned to finish at 10 o'clock. And I just want to encourage you to continue practicing the Dharma and offer my gratitude for you for being present and for engaging this difficult and powerful practice.
So let's take a moment to just pause. Notice how the mind wants to try to analyze, figure out, clarify, understand. And just take a moment to feel the teachings. Allow the body to resonate with the teachings themselves. And so next, if necessary, you can go ahead and shift your posture or take a conscious breath and adjust as we move into loving kindness practice or metta practice. And so we begin with that breath. And as you exhale, I invite you now to bring to mind the image of you, an image of that form that has been given your name and that has accrued the many experiences over the years. And holding this image in your mind's eye, recite silently to yourself these words of metta practice. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe from inner and outer dangers. May I be well in body and mind. And may I be at ease and happy. Conscious breath. And as you release, I invite you now to bring to mind the image of a friend of yours. And holding this full body image of your friend in your mind's eye, let us send to them metta. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. Conscious breath. And as you release that sentiment into the universe, I invite you now to bring to mind the image of an acquaintance. Could be a clerk or a cashier from the week, perhaps a passerby or someone new in a class. And holding this image in your mind's eye, let us send to them metta. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. Conscious breath. And as you release that sentiment into the universe, I invite you now to bring to mind the image of a difficult person in your life, a challenging person. Could be a boss or a coworker, classmate, or a political figure. And holding this image in your mind's eye, let us send to them metta. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. Conscious breath. And as you release that sentiment into the universe, now I invite you to bring to mind the image of the world, all the plants and the flowers and the trees, animals of the land, the sea, the sky, and all sentient beings. Holding this image in your mind's eye, let us send to them all metta. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be well in body and mind. And may you be at ease and happy. Conscious breath. And in the true spirit of Dharma, the Buddhist practice of generosity, temple services here are given freely. If you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, which means not in return for anything that you have received today, but rather so that those who may be seeking refuge may find it here in this temple with this Sangha and with these teachers. The Dana boxes are located at the back of the meditation hall. And we also take a moment now in gratitude for our wonderful ambassadors, those folks who have committed themselves to regular monthly electronic giving. It's not about the amount, it's just that the regular monthly giving helps us to set a budget here at TBC. And also tremendous gratitude for all of our wonderful volunteers, those folks who help us each and every day of the week to provide classes and online community offerings to help nourish our wonderful Sangha in many different ways. And also tremendous gratitude to Rochelle for your music, and tremendous gratitude to Robert Brumet for all of your kindness, your sharing, your depth of knowledge of the Dharma, and your willingness to share that with all of us. And of course, thank you so much to each and every one of you for everything that you do, for sharing your heart and your presence and your practice with us here at Temple Buddhist Center. We are the better for it. And so as we prepare now for the Bodhicitta dedication together, we'll recite this out loud, and then I have just about 2 minutes worth of announcements to share with you of some of our upcoming fall offerings. But until then, our Bodhicitta dedication. Together, may the pure, brilliant sun of Bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably, until all are illumined and awakened. And with the palms of our hands together in front of our hearts, as we go forth now from this place, may we enter each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. And as we open our hands, open our eyes, shine our light into the world. Namaste. Thank you all so much for being here and sharing with us this morning. Just a couple of announcements that I'd like to share with you. Don't forget that our post-service discussion group is meeting right down the hallway from 10:15 to about 11:15 to apply today's talk to our daily lives. Also, if you're interested in any of our Temple Green Team opportunities as we mix with Bridging the Gap, you can contact Jim. Jim's here this morning. Hi, Jim. Thank you for being here. His information is on the little handout sheet, which is on the front desk, his email. You can connect with Jim, and he can help you find a way to involve yourself with our Sangha and our community to help provide a more sustainable and environmental way of being. Also, coming up November 20th is our quarterly Temple Buddhist Center day-long retreat. And that is on the 20th and we go from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It is a hybrid, so it will be in present as well as online. And our theme is Om for the holidays. And so the idea is meeting the season with grace and understanding. And then also, Rob and a number of our young adults are putting together Wake Up. Wake Up is a young adults Sangha. So they come together on the first and third Sundays at 1 p.m. in Classroom C to talk about issues unique to that age group of 18 to 35. And so their first meeting is going to be the 21st, so the third Sunday, which is, I guess, in two more Sundays, yes. And that begins at 1 p.m., so it gives you a chance to go and get lunch and come back and meet with the group. And then also coming up, 2 more big announcements. We're offering a full moon meditation, yoga, We're going to build a flower mandala. There's sound healing and a kirtan. Kirtan is chanting. And that is November 19th, Friday, November 19th, downstairs in what used to be Eden Alley. It's now called Unity Hall. But we want to invite everybody to come and join with us. We build a big giant flower mandala out of leaves and natural objects and things like that. And then there's yoga, and then there will be chanting. So we hope you can join us. And then finally, our New Year's retreat. Robert Brumet and myself and Nicoya will be featuring a New Year's retreat from the 29th to the 1st. This one right now is currently online only, and the theme of the retreat is the fourth turning of the wheel. Buddhism and the Western practitioner. So we hope that you can join us for that as well. All of these things are available on our Facebook page or our website. So we hope that you stop by and find out ways that Temple Buddhist Center can nourish your spiritual practice. So again, thank you everyone so much for being here. And as you go into your day, peace, blessings, and go Chiefs.